Imagine a war zone, not bullets and tanks but two ancient armies face to face, one side trembling, the other laughing. That's Goliath, a giant, a trained killer, and every day for 40 days he steps forward and dares someone, anyone, to fight him. No one says a word, they're afraid, and honestly, you probably would be too. Then comes David, just a teenager really, barely old enough to be considered a man by the standards of his time. He's not a soldier, not a warrior, not even someone anyone would expect to make a difference on a day like this. He's just a shepherd, the youngest son in his family, sent by his father on a simple errand. The sun is barely up as he makes his way across the fields, the dew still clinging to the grass, his heart probably more focused on the task at hand than the fate of a nation. He walks with a quiet humility, unaware that history is about to pivot on his next few steps. No armor, no sword, just delivering lunch to his brothers. He's carrying a simple basket filled with bread and cheese, maybe some dried fruit. It's a humble offering, meant only to sustain his older brothers who are fighting in the army. David isn't here to fight. He's here to serve, to check on his family, to bring back news to his father. He probably feels out of place among the hardened soldiers, their armor glinting in the morning light, their faces drawn with fear and exhaustion. Yet, he moves forward, weaving through the camp, searching for his brothers, unaware that he's about to witness something that will change his life, and the lives of everyone around him, forever. But when he sees Goliath, this giant of a man, towering over everyone, his voice booming across the valley, mocking the Israelite army, mocking their God, something stirs deep within David. He watches as grown men, seasoned warriors, shrink back in fear, paralyzed by the taunts of this enemy. The air is thick with tension, the morale of the army shattered. Yet in that moment David feels something rise up inside him. It's not anger, not pride, but a sense of righteous indignation, a conviction that this cannot stand, that someone must answer this challenge, not for glory, but for the honor of God. Not ego, not bravado, just faith. In the midst of fear and uncertainty, David's heart is steady. He isn't thinking about fame or recognition. He isn't trying to prove himself to anyone. He simply believes, with a quiet, unshakable confidence, that God is bigger than any giant, and that faith, even from someone as unlikely as a teenage shepherd, can change the course of history. He steps forward, his sandals pressing into the dew-soaked grass, each stride echoing with a courage that belies his youth. David is not a warrior by trade, nor does he carry the heavy armor of seasoned soldiers. Instead, he walks with the quiet confidence of someone who knows that strength does not always come from muscle or metal but from faith. He steps forward, not because he is the strongest or the tallest, but because he believes deeply, unshakably, that God is with him. The morning air is thick with tension, the eyes of two armies fixed on this lone shepherd boy. In his hand he holds only a simple sling, a tool of his daily life, and 5 smooth stones gathered from a nearby brook. No shield, no sword, no helmet, just trust. With every step, he remembers the lions and bears he has faced before, the quiet moments when he felt God's presence guiding him. Now, as he faces the giant, he draws a single stone, places it in his sling, and with a prayer whispered under his breath, lets it fly, one shot, right between the eyes. And just like that, the giant falls. It wasn't muscle that won that day, it was courage, it was trust, it was showing up when no one else would. We all face giants in our lives. Sometimes these giants are not towering creatures from old stories, but the invisible forces that hold us back. Fear, doubt, uncertainty, and the overwhelming odds that seem to stack higher with every passing day. Each of us, at some point, stands at the edge of something daunting, looking out over a landscape of challenges that seem impossible to cross. Our hearts race, our minds fill with questions. What if I fail? What if I'm not strong enough? What if the world is too big for just one person to make a difference? But in these moments, when the weight of the unknown presses down, there is a quiet voice inside us that whispers of hope. It reminds us that courage isn't the absence of fear, but the decision to move forward in spite of it. Sometimes all it takes is one brave step, a single act of faith, no matter how small, to set everything in motion. That first step can change the course of our lives, opening doors we never imagined and revealing strengths we never knew we had. So as the sun rises and a new day begins, remember, your one brave step could be the start of something extraordinary. The story of David and Goliath, 1 Samuel 17. More stories told with heart. Subscribe for more.